doesn't have to be military advisors. Sister Angelique talked about the reintegration efforts and stuff like that. Sometimes it's financial assistance, sometimes it's equipment, and I guess the question is, are we asking? And maybe the way you do it is at this General Assembly meeting at the UN when everybody's together. But to make this a center of attention, maybe that's something we can urge the administration to do. Because look, I mean, I think all of us are supportive because we believe that by helping the people of the region go after Joseph Kony and dismantle LRA, their lives improve. The world is a better place. We don't want to do this, just for therapy. And doing it in a half-hearted way where, we're doing something, but we're not doing nearly enough. And I think that what we need to figure out is how we do enough. And it's just us. I think the gentleman's correct. This is the world is aware of this in a way they weren't a year ago. And how do we build upon that energy and that support to get some other nations to contribute in a way that that there is enough support. Again, it's not only military advisors. There's a whole bunch of other stuff here that is important as well. And certainly there must be some way to get more support internationally. But I thank the gentleman.
Yes, and I was just sitting here thinking there's expertise in rainforest or jungle warfare and expertise in combating a lot of the elements that you find in this region. So I'll just end but telling the sister and the father there, merci beaucoup pour votre disposition et votre courage. Merci.
I took 4 years of Latin, so if a Roman gladiator walks in here, I can translate, but that's about all I can do.
And I speak with a southern accent, so there you have it.
Gentlemen.
I yield back.
Mr. Chairman? Yes. Thank you. I just had two questions. You believe that the Sudanese army, Khartoum, the Khartoum government knows where Kony is? I mean, do you think they know where he is at this moment?
Okay, I don't think on a day-to-day basis.
Does he check in with him periodically?
That's what I do not think happens. I do think there has been, and I would love to hear Michael as well on this and our colleagues from the region. I do think there's been resupply at times, that the LRA units have crossed the border. We're not sure if Kony was ever part of that. Doesn't have to be. Probably is more, he's safe where he is now in far northeast CAR. I mean, there's no one even around there to look for him. Units cross over. The allegation is they've been resupplied and come back. So the assertion is, and as the prior panel from the USG said, we don't have any smoking gun evidence about it, but we have a lot of anecdotal evidence and a lot of eyewitness testimony from Sudanese in Darfur and CAR, folks in CAR on the other side of the border saying we saw this, we saw that. So I don't think, in direct answer to your question, that they would know at the highest level where he is at any given time, but I do think there has been a level of support given to the LRA that has been sufficient to keep it alive. And what I really worry about, and I'm sure you share this concern and you've spoken about it in the past, especially around the time of the referendum, is that as the situation potentially deteriorates between Sudan and South Sudan, that Khartoum is going to see the LRA as one of its tools to undermine stability in South Sudan, and we're going to see another reinflation of the LRA's capacity. So that's what I am most concerned about, is that potential threat.
The other question, are we not using satellites now to track him? Or is there not?
Yeah, the areas where the LRA travels are what the military refers to as triple-layered jungle canopy that satellite imagery is a very limited utility. So what is being done, as was actually profiled recently in the Washington Post, are these prop planes with geothermal sensing capabilities. But at present, there ranges between only 1 and 2 of those planes that are active at any time across an area, as has been mentioned, the size of California. And so the utility of how much ground you can actually cover is quite limited.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
A few last questions, so thank you for your patience. Sister Angelique, you talked about the reintegration of LRA survivors into their communities. What more can the United States and the international community do to assist in the reintegration, and what would be the most helpful assistance that we could provide you to your reintegration work?
pour la question. Quand je parlais des aides d'urgence, c'est-à-dire les femmes, malgré ces aides-là qu'on les avait données tout au début, ça ne couvre pas totalement leurs besoins. Et maintenant, elles ont besoin d'une assistance qui peut les rendre autonomes pour qu'elles cessent de demander chaque jour à manger ou bien se promener avec les roues, chercher là où elle va travailler seulement pour vivre aujourd'hui. Et demain encore, elle reprend le travail de chercher quoi manger aujourd'hui.
When I mentioned earlier the emergency assistance, those assistance cover the need for a short period of time. And when this assistance comes to the end, those people, this woman, still in need, and you can see that instead of taking the machete on their shoulder, go and look for a daily work in order to provide for the family needs, with the kind of assistance that we need that will help us in order to help this woman in order to be self-dependent.
Moi, je pensais que si on les aidait pour leur formation, par exemple à pâtisserie, un peu de microcrédit pour chercher à trouver de l'argent chaque jour, et même les chats communautaires.
I believe if we can provide a kind of assistance to help this woman in bread bakery, micro credit, and also the community agriculture.
Et pour les enfants, c'est la même chose. Les autres qui sont déjà grands, on peut les insérer dans une formation professionnelle.
That's the same thing for the children as well. Those who are at little advanced age could be trained professionally.
Et ceux qui sont à l'âge scolaire, les prendre en charge parce qu'ils sont dans la famille de déplacés, au cas de déplacés. Ils n'ont pas les moyens pour payer leurs études. C'est pour cela qu'ils restent à la maison.
And for those who have reached the age to go to school, if they can receive the kind of assistance in order for them to pay for the tuition, because they don't have this, or their family as well lack this financial support to pay for the school.
Et aussi les enfants orphelins qui n'ont pas une structure d'accueil. Si on pouvait aussi songer à eux pour leur nourriture et leur prise en charge totale.
And also for the baby and orphans, we also need that as structure or a building structure be put in place in order to provide an assistance to the specific children.
Merci.
Thank you. Father, you had talked about the African. You mentioned the African Union's regional effort in countering the LRA and kind of the I guess ineffectiveness right now of that effort. I just want. Do you believe that the African governments impacted believe that the LRA is a big problem that needs to be dealt with? And if so, what can the United States do to encourage more effective action by the African Union?
Pour le moment, nous avons constaté que la présence de la LRA n'est pas une menace pour nos gouvernements, le gouvernement de nos pays.
As of now, we can tell you that the existence of the LRA in this area, the African government do not consider this as a challenge.
Si vous considérez sur le plan géographique là où se trouvent les LRA sont en train de travailler, de faire des exactions, vous trouverez que c'est très loin des différentes capitales.
if you consider the geographical structure of the area covered by the LRA, you can tell that this is completely different from each region, each capital.
Et c'est pourquoi la LRA ne constitue pas une menace pour leur pouvoir.
Reason why the LRA does not constitute a threat to their power.
Et nous étions surpris et étonnés d'apprendre que l'Union africaine a pris une initiative de combattre la LRA.
We are surprised to hear that African Union has taken an initiative to combat the LRA.
Pour le moment, dans la mise en œuvre, nous ne voyons pas une mise en œuvre effective et rapide.
But now if we look at it, we cannot see any proof of the progress made in the area.
À cause des contraintes telles que les différents points de vue des différents gouvernements qui ne se mettent pas d'accord sur ces problèmes de la LRA.
Because of the conflict and the fact that the government cannot come into agreement to tackle the problem of the LRA.
Pour certains gouvernements, la LRA n'existe plus. Pour d'autres, ce n'est plus la question de leur pays. Pour d'autres encore, ça ne touche pas aux intérêts politiques.
For some, the LRA does not exist. For others, the LRA does not constitute a threat to their government. And for some other, the LRA presence does not affect their country because they're not in their country.
Raison pour laquelle les États-Unis devraient insister pour l'Union africaine d'intensifier sa diplomatie régionale.
And the reason why the United States should push African Union in order to intensify the regional diplomacy among the states.
Que les gouvernements de l'Union africaine reconnaissent ces problèmes de la LRA et tous de la même façon.
And that's the diverse government in the African Union should acknowledge the LRA issue, and that they should consider this at the same level.
Et qu'ils puissent prioriser ces problèmes.
And that they should prioritize this issue.
Nous sommes d'accord qu'on est en train de négliger maintenant, mais c'était danger pour toute l'humanité.
We know now we are not taking maybe this seriously, but this is a huge danger for the humanity.
Good. Thank you. Let me just conclude here, if I can, by thanking everybody for your testimony. Father Benoit and Sister Angelique, thank you so much for being here. It means a great deal to this commission, and your testimony is invaluable. And believe me when I say it's important to be able to get testimony face to face, then get it sent to us in written form or having you being telecast in here somehow. So we appreciate all the time and effort that you made to get here. And I think I just would close by saying I want to acknowledge the administration. In my opinion, I agree with Mr. Prendergast, says deserves credit for beginning this process of taking this issue on, and I applaud the steps that they have taken so far. But clearly, the steps so far have not been sufficient, and that there is much more that needs to be done. And maybe, kind of as follow-ups, that. Two action items that we might consider. One is trying to get another meeting with the administration group that's dealing with this issue, and some of us in Congress and some of those in the NGO community to have a discussion sooner rather than later about kind of, here's where you need to do. We think you should do more. Here's here's how we think you should allocate some of the resources, and certainly you should utilize all the resources that have been given to try to deal with this effort. So maybe that's something we can do in the next few weeks, and hopefully with your help we can figure out who should be in that room. The second thing is I think that maybe in a bipartisan way we can put together a letter to the president and the Secretary of State saying that at the General Assembly meeting at the United Nations in September that we take a leadership role in bringing the appropriate governments together to make it a priority and to try to see where we can get some sort of cooperation so that we can better go after Joseph Kony and the LRA and therefore improve the quality of life for a lot of people whose lives have been made held by the LRA. So I think maybe those are the two follow-up assignments that I get from this hearing, and if there's anything else, please let me know. But I think those are two action items that we can actually do here. I mean, one is a meeting, and then the second is a letter to the administration on the issue of making this an issue at the General Assembly meeting in the United Nations in September. So, with that, do you have anything else? I think with that, thank you very much for your patience, and we appreciate very much your testimony. This hearing comes.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.